We're going to be starting off today around some of the AI tools that exist within Navigate. So I'll be going through some slides and then we'll get into a demo in your site as well. Any point in time you'll have a question, comment, general squeal of excitement, feel free to raise your hand, squeal out loud if you so choose, etc. I want this to be an interactive session there. So first, just an overview of some of the new Nav AI features that exist. There's three main ones: message content creator, report finder, and filter assistant. Those last two kind of fall into what we're titling the report assistant there. And we're going to start with kind of why did we even decide to go down the path of creating some more AI tools? And so it really started with a lot of more efficiency and be more effective, right? People are constantly being asked to do more with less time. And so some of those tasks that maybe took a lot of time of rephrasing an email, trying to figure out what filters to use in your reports or things like, or in your search, could be taking precious minutes, hopefully not hours, but precious minutes out of your time that can prevent you from hopefully maybe scaling some of the work and the efforts that you're trying to do. And so when we think about AI, it really falls in these four main areas of why we decided to go down this path. The more efficient piece, allowing you to be more effective, so getting more impactful messages that are going out, getting more detailed queries when you're doing those searches, and more streamlined. Right, these are tools that are already embedded into Navigate. So it's not you have to click out somewhere else to get to it. It's already within the interface that y'all gotten used to. And so starting with the message content creator, has anyone ever used maybe like Grammarly or ChatGPT to kind of spice up an email? Okay, so then you're familiar with kind of what the purpose of the message content creator is. It's an embedded AI assistant to really help you improve the message content, the length, the clarity, etc. And so how it works is anywhere in the site where you can send a message to students, so either a one-off email message, in a messaging campaign, in an appointment campaign, etc., there will be this AI button that I'll be able to show you where it can help spruce up your messaging. So you can have it put in a prompt, say, type out a message or give me a message for trying to get students to enroll in an upcoming term, right? And it'll draft something for you. You should still obviously edit it, review it, never just go through and take what it says at face value for the first point in time, but can give you a starting point. Similarly, you can have it change the tone. So maybe you want it to be more direct, or maybe you want it to be less formal or something like that. Those are some of the features that you can now leverage within that to spruce up some of those messages that you are already planning to send to students. So this can not only save you time in writing these messages to students, but maybe this can help improve some of the drafts that you've been working on and save you the time from having to stress about having to edit it on your own. And so 4 main tips when we're thinking about when using this. First one is the one I really want to drive home the first. Use it as a starting point. It should never just be the end goal. Meaning whatever it reads at, spits out to you, still review it. And that's just general guidance for any AI tool that you will use. It will get you part of the way there. And in many ways, it may get you all the way there, but you still need to review it to make sure it meets whatever your Baylor standards are of communication, whatever voice you want to be having. That way, the student knows that they are still interacting with a human in those conversations. But you can also use it to use prompts to spark ideas and uses, right? So maybe you want to write a message about, I'll keep on going with like the re-enrollment piece, but you have no idea where you want to even start with that conversation, where you want that language to start with. Use a prompt to get used to starting somewhere there. As we start thinking about ways to scale your work across teams, this is where some of the content templates come into play. Has anyone in here heard of kind of the message templates that are available within Navigate? Carol has. So, and a feature that's probably been out for maybe about a year or so now is the ability to save messages as a template. So that way, when you go back and maybe you have to resend another re-enrollment message 6 months from now, you can access the template that you had already created. So this is something where if you have similar types of messages that you are sending on a regular basis, and maybe you normally have it saved in like a Word document that you go copy and paste from, You can now have it saved as a template. And therefore, when you go to build out these messages, you can click into any of your saved templates. And these are things that you all can have specifically for yourself. So if Carol has one that she always uses and Lauren has a separate one that she always uses, the two don't have to talk, but it can save you individually time. And you can leverage the message content creator to help spruce up those messages as well. The other nice thing is within the content creator, it allows you to see version history, right? So when any type of kind of chat AI tool, you put in a prompt and you're like, hey, tweak it to make it sound more direct, tweak it to be shorter, tweak it to be XYZ. And you may end up with 10 iterations down the road and realize actually like iteration number 3 the best. That you are able to see the version history within there, so you can kind of go back and see previous iterations of the message to decide which one you wanted to actually go with. And then lastly, review the messages before it gets sent to students. I will keep on coming back to that point. So that way we do not fall into the trap of just putting in the prompt and then hitting send and never read the message. So the same way in which the message content creator is designed to help you save time in drafting your messages in the communications to students, the report assistant is there to help you better design your queries for reports. So I'd love to see maybe a show of hands. Who has ever struggled with building out a report in Navigate? Okay. What were some of the struggles there?
Understanding, like you've got different like categories or words in there, but I don't really know what they include. I don't know, does that make sense? Okay. Yeah. So I don't know if they're pulling, with the prompts and tags, the things that I actually.
Mm-hmm. That general sentiment shared by others?
Is sometimes you don't, like, you can create all these beautiful filters, but then you don't know what is going to actually happen. So, like, if you'll get that as a column, with that.
This is where the report assistant can come into play to help. And so it really is kind of two pieces, the report finder and the filter assistant. The report finder is there to help you figure out, I know I want to get this to a certain type of information, but I don't know which report. There's 25, I think, Navigate reports in there. I don't know which report to go to. And so the report finder is there to help you identify what report may exist to help you get the answer that you want. So it's meant to be kind of like a chat agent in there where you can kind of type in questions about what's included in a specific type of report. Maybe saying, I want to know how many students had a tutoring appointment in the past month. What report should I use? It would then tell you the appointments report, right? So this can be helpful and help you narrow down what report exists to help you get the answer that you're looking for. Knowing that the reports can be a beast, there's just no way around it. There's a lot of amazing information that you can get out of the reports, but part of that is you have to have at least a baseline understanding of how to leverage the reports. And sometimes not having that baseline understanding is enough of a barrier to be like, you know what, wipe my hands of it, I'm not going to do this, or let me just email Carol and ask her all the questions on how to pull reports. We're hoping that this report assistant can be helpful in you all getting more comfortable with leveraging the reports on your own. So once you've gone to the report finder and said, hey, you should be using the appointments report or something like that, this is where oh goodness, I deleted the other slide. Well, we're going to talk to it, then I'll show you it live. And that's where the filter assistant can come into play. The filter assistant is a way for you to still use plain text language for the chat agent to help you identify what filter options should exist to get you to the answer that you're wanting to report. So let's say, I want to know how many students had a tutoring appointment for English 101 in the past 30 days and that are assigned to me or something like that. Based off of that information, what the filter system will do is it'll populate on the report that you're in suggested filters to get you to that answer. And so obviously you still need to review them. You should still check to see if it is getting you the information that you need, but it gives you a nicer starting point to help you get more comfortable about figuring out what filters exist, particularly for some of the more common use cases that you all may be having, where you just don't know. There's a million drop downs. Which ones do I click on? Which one do I use to get the information that I need there? So with that, I know this is a lot more exciting once we can actually demo it live. So I'm going to go into your site and pull that up. Okay, so I am not in a real student right now. I am in Bobby Baylor, who is our lovely test student. But I just went and went to send a message to Bobby, right? You will then see a couple of things. I briefly mentioned the ability to have these templates. While this wasn't like the purpose of the conversation today, if I had templates saved for myself, or there's some public templates here, you all can access them and use that it'll draft some language based off of what you've already saved. But I'm going to come down here for Enhance with AI. And you know what? I'm at the point, I'm brain dead. I don't even want to draft anything yet. I just want to start using prompts. And so what would I like help to write? I'm going to say, I need to remind the student to register so they can graduate next semester, right? Maybe a common message you have to send. And what tone do I want it to be? I'm feeling very casual today. I'm going to go with the casual. And I want it to be medium, right? I want there to be like, I want them to read the message, but I don't want it to be obnoxiously long. And I click Enhance. It takes a little bit. But let me actually minimize this so you can see the full thing. So what I mentioned, that being able to see the two versions, on the left, you'll always be able to see the original message. I had nothing, so that's why it's blank. But on the right, I see the enhanced message. And so we can see what it got me started with. And I might say, okay, this is good. Gets me a good bit of the way there, but I want this to be better. Or maybe I said, this is a little bit too casual or something else, and I want to make changes there. And so what I can do is I can use the enhance and then it saves it there, pulls me here, but I'm like, I want to make some changes. I want this to be shorter. And I actually want this to be a little bit more urgent. And so I'm going to enhance it again. And so what it will do is on the left is what the first version of the message was, since that's the one I wanted to go with. And on the right is the enhanced message, after I made it shorter and more urgent. And so you see, there's less fluffy language, not just a quick reminder, just if you plan to graduate, you must register. A little bit more to the point. I mentioned that version history, so I can continue to kind of, if I made a bunch of different versions, I'll be able to move back and forth between the different versions, so that way I can always see what I previously referenced. I can also change the prompt there. So that is the way in which the content creator works. This would also can apply to text messages. If folks have that ability, there still will be like the text message limit there. So you can't write 1,000, I forget what the character limit is, but you're not going to be writing a 10,000 character text there. The content creator, the way I just enhance a message will show up any place where you send a message to students. So these one-off messages, if I was sending them to maybe all the students on the student list, this will show up. If I was drafting a message that goes into an appointment campaign or a messaging campaign, this same functionality would show up there as well. So it really is embedded throughout all the places in the site where you'd be sending messages to students. So that is, there's some limited merge tags that exist within the messages already. So if I were to click on, I went to the little 3 buttons that are on the right and click on merge tags, you can add in recipient name. And that'll be if I put, hey, recipient name, then that would be how you get to that. The other options that exist it's really just like their full name, first name, or last name. So it's still limited merge tags that exist there, but you can get at some of those pieces there.
And it's pulling from spreadsheet.
Oh, no, this is pulling from, since it's only going off of their names, pulling from who you decided you're going to send the message to. So if you have the list of students that you're sending the message to or that are in your campaign, it'll pull it for each of those individual students. So for the report filters and the report assistant, I'm going to go to the reporting tab, which is a little spreadsheet. here. And I'm gonna go to standard reports. And the first thing you're gonna see here is AI report finder. So maybe I'm here, I'm like, I don't even know what report I need. I just know I need something. So I need to know which of my students the tutoring appointment, right? So, and it's going to recommend a report to me. And so you'll find with a lot of queries you may have, there may be multiple different reports that could get you to the same answer, right? So I may have initially thought of going to the appointments report, but this one, it gives me the recommendation for the students report. I could get the same answer from there. The nice thing that is, two nice things from here is that you'll see it's linked out. If I click on it, it'll take me directly to the report. But it also gives you some information about what are some of the filters that you should be using there. The other nice thing is, as you know, there are 25 plus reports in Navigate. You all may not have access to all of them. And so once you are logged into Navigate, it knows which reports you have access to or not. So it's not going to recommend a report that you actually can't see. So we're not out here trying to get your hopes up that you can get a piece of information and you actually cannot. So I'm like, okay, students report. And I click on the link and it brings me to the students report. And it already pops up the filter assistant. And then, oh, see, it's been a little while since I've done this. I didn't even realize if when I put the recommendations directly from the report finder, I said which of my students had a tutoring appointment, it brought over the recommended filters from that. So I just learned a little something right there since it's been a little while. So it's going to recommend things here, or it just said like appointments greater than 0, and had a care unit and tutoring. But maybe I want to look at other things. So this is what it was pulling over for my first query. What's another, someone throw anything out. What's a report that you would want to know?
Students.
Do we have part-time as fall registration has started, right? Okay. Control 2025 and have no, it's like they've under credit 2012 credit hours for fall 2025. They've already registered for fall 2025. Okay, so it did that one there. So I just had put students with less than 12 credit hours for a specific term.
So yes, so we have all the terms in Navigate, and we be really about that. But this is where, so it kind of defaulted it to that term 2. So if you just click you'll be able to select just the fall 2025. Yeah, we got everything you could ever want. Every term. We are leaving no terms behind. All terms.
Yeah.
But anyway, so and that is my experience working with this. Sometimes it does think little things like that. Yeah, but great.
But that's helpful to know because as I mentioned, it is always going to be a starting point. And so for something like that, you look at the results, you know you have to go in and tweak it, but it gets you most of the way there. So we can get even more complicated there. So students enrolled for under 12 credit hours for fall 2025 and did not have a tutoring appointment in the spring. Well, I'll say in the last 6 months. I don't know why you would want that report, but maybe you do. And so you see it still did the fall 25 term too. So we'd want to update that, but it added in some other things here. Where I put the last 6 months, we are on May 19th. So 6 months from now in the past was November 19th. So it gets you a lot of the way there. So the hope is that this can be a really useful tool to help you at least get better used to some of the filters that exist. And then the nice thing is, once you find a report that you love and you say, I know I want to pull this report 3 months from now, you can save the report as whatever you want it to be, and it'll show up as your save list. But then maybe you made this amazing report and you want to share it with your best friend colleague. Say, hey, you may want to run this report. There is this share these filters, which will be a link that you could copy and paste in an email to your colleague. And when they click on the link, excuse me, as long as they have access to the report, it will take them directly into the report and Navigate, and it'll pre-populate the filters that you had saved it as. So it can be a nice way to share. Once someone solves a riddle of what the report should be, it can be a nice way to share it with someone else. All right. Well, I know we're at the end of our first session. These are meant to be just enough of a snippet to get you excited about things. So we have a 15-minute break. I know we are still early, so you may not need a break yet. So if